right, joining me now for another edition of Coach's Corner is head coach of the EHL Knights, and that's Josh Fusco. And Coach, as we move into an exciting week here for your players, you guys are heading off to the EHL Showcase up in Walpole, Massachusetts. And before we jump into the things that come with that type of an event, real quick here, touching back to this past weekend, you guys got a lot of time on penalty kill, and we've talked about it in the past. It's something you want to see a little less of as penalty minutes, but you guys did get a lot of tests ultimately with your penalty kill this week, past weekend. What'd you like, ultimately in terms of seeing a higher kill rate, and what do you still want to work on moving forward?
Well, statistically, I mean, the number looks good for as much time as we spent in the box and how well we killed those penalties off. The positive thing on that side is we were able to kill off a lot of those and get back to work a little bit, and then I think a little bit of that adversity there. And again, it's the constant going in the box thing is going to stop. But I think the boys responded well with that, and they dug down deep, and they went out there, and we've spent some time in practice working on our PK, working on the forecheck, tweaking a few things, changing a few things. I was pretty impressed. Obviously, a couple guys did real well. Were real strong. A couple mixed and matched a couple guys to find who fits better with who, and I was pretty happy with that.
Gotcha. Now moving forward into this week, you guys are heading off to the EHL Showcase. Yep. Again, just like in any junior hockey league, Showcase is a big deal. What kind of advice are you giving your players? Some of these guys that might be 97, some guys who are younger, but ultimately, what are you telling these guys as they get in front of some scouts here?
Relax and have fun, and put a smile on your face. And this is our first big road trip of the year. Right. The hike out there to Boston area. So I think a lot of guys are going to be excited about that. There's going to be some high emotion about it. A different atmosphere, different building, playing in Walpole. We're going to be able to see, not just our division, but we're going to be able to see everybody else now. Right. It's everybody's under the same roof this weekend, and there's going to be a lot of colleges, and college guys have already been reaching out to some of the boys and myself, asking for those academic stuff and this and that. So. The biggest thing for that is they need to just stay relaxed, stay composed. It's not any different. Playing in this showcase isn't any different than playing last weekend or, a regular season game. It counts for regular season points. Right. Each game is 2 points. Right. Counts for standings. So, there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake. You got to play well. You got to perform. You got a lot of eyes on you, especially for a young team. The younger guys obviously getting some looks from higher level junior teams, hopefully, and even getting on the college radar. And then your older boys looking to go to college. Right. But the big thing for them is don't do anything that you don't do. Right. If you're a goal scorer, let's score goals. And I think this is a weekend where a lot of guys are going to step up to the plate and break that seal and start pumping in the goals. If you're a solid defensive defenseman, play D zone solid, play positionally well, and move the puck, and show off your shot. So you can go all down the board. It's why you're here. Do what you're doing while you're here. Out there in these games, and we get to play the other conference. We're playing 2 other teams from the other conference, so that's exciting. Right.
All right, now and then, not to look too far ahead here, but right after that, the following weekend, I believe you guys go, a couple guys potentially could go to the All-Star, EHL All-Star contest as well. Those contests similarly allow a couple of the players that you nominate from your roster, to go and compete against some college talent, and get kind of a feel for where they are in terms of where they rank against some college players, and then again against some of the playing with some of the other better players in the league as well. But just in general, do you feel as a coach that that's something that obviously you want for your players, but is it at all a distraction at any point, given that you still have your games to work on here and focus on here, but then also you have an all-star game on top of it? That's to say, again, how do you balance the positive with the negative there, just to keep your guys focused, but also, get those all-star potential players, their exposure.
Yeah, and you know, I think this weekend could be a big jump for some of these boys. You know, me and Tom and Andrew kind of discussed it a little bit of you know, these guys have an extra incentive to also get into NA practices and get some NA time, hopefully. So, you know, we're putting that on them now. You got the showcase, which is exciting, and that's tremendous of the Eastern Hockey League that they do this with 4 events like this.
Sure.
And that's really exciting for the league and for us as an organization, for our players. And then the All-Star, the little All-Star showcase that the league is doing, and you know, yeah, it's early in the season, but they get to play college teams, and you know, I think it's more so of a collective agreement when it comes to picking the team and who's going from what team and who deserves to go. So, you know, it's going to be, I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets picked, and had a couple nominations and asked who I'd like to see in it from our squad. So it'll be exciting. I can't wait for that. And I don't think it'll affect anybody's mindset. I mean, this is a pretty strong group of boys in this locker room where, you know, I think a lot of them raise their game to the next level when they're put in those positions. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens here.
Sure. And all right. Well, we'll try something new here, because we've done it with all your players and all the players that we bring in here. And we do it, you know, both the EHL and the NAHL. We call it rapid fire, and we're gonna try it with you this time, because we haven't tried this with a coach yet. But let's start with an easy one here for you. Non-related to hockey. We'll use you in.
Okay.
What's because you and I were talking about this a few minutes ago, but what's your favorite non-hockey team? You know, we know there's a lot of, you know, we know you're a New York guy, so there's some New York teams there, and we were talking about how there's some struggles going on through professional New York sports right now. But who would you say is your favorite non-hockey team?
I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
Okay.
Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
Okay.
But that's in every sport.
Okay.
But when it comes to a team outside of hockey, it's the New York Yankees.
All right. Well,
pinstripes.
They're on a roll right now, so hopefully that keeps going.
Game 5 tonight. I'm excited. Gotta get video done early tonight.
You get home, watch the game. All right. How about?
And that's not the bandwagon either.
I know you're
New York. So my father's from the
born
Bronx.
and raised. Yep, and then you got this connection to the city. No,
always been a true.
I'm with you. I'm a New York guy as well, so I'm rooting hard tonight for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But okay, next one. There's a couple that we ask repeatedly, but let's ask this one from a coach's perspective, because I've never really heard, because normally coaches don't really give it too much attention, but if you got to pick a goal song for the team, if you got to go through your music library, you know, through your phone, your Spotify playlist, you get to pick one song that you'd like to hear after your team scores, what would it be?
That would be the New York Rangers goal song.
Okay, keep it, okay.
It's a little different. It's got some
absolutely.
touch to it. Yeah, that'd be cool in that.
Everyone likes the Chicago Blackhawks. Chelsea Dagger.
I think it's too much.
Yeah, we've heard it enough.
Yeah,
it's overplayed.
If I could pick one goal song, I think that would be it.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a few more. Maybe if I could think of them off the top of my head, and but yeah, New York Rangers for sure.
I gotcha. Okay, then let's. We can't ask you the Deserted Island one, because that's more for the players. I was going to say, I mean, we could.
I don't want any of them.
Exactly. Yeah. We'll skip that one.
They would sewer me on that one. I'd be scared by myself.
All right. Then we'll ask you one hockey related. You know, you say you're a Rangers fan, but who was your favorite player growing up?
Mark Messier.
Okay.
That's an easy one for me. Yeah. I remember, I think when I got into hockey, it was seeing that 94 Stanley Cup championship with the Rangers. That was sitting in the living room with my dad, seeing Messier jump across the ice and then raise that cup. That sold me right there.
Okay, that's a good one. All right, and we'll go out on this one, and this is again hockey related. Who would you say you idolize most as a coach in the NHL?
Ooh,
it's a tough one. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, that's. I like Mike Yeo in St. Louis. I've been a fan of him for a while. I think he's obviously done a tremendous job to get where he's at.
Yeah.
Definitely him is one. I've always been I've always been a Tortorella fan.
Yeah? Okay, I was going to ask you about Torts.
I just
polarizing guy.
Yeah, polarizing. He's not afraid to tell it how it is. Right. He makes his players battle and work hard. He's a good one. And I like Sullivan too.
Sullivan. Okay. Yeah, he's right down the street. Last couple of years, and then popped up.
And, he was an assistant with the Rangers, so I saw a lot of him as a Ranger fan. But he's a guy that he wants his players playing hockey. And he's I think he's a guy that he played the game himself, so he brings a lot to the table. And then obviously look what he's done. In his short time as a head coach. So no, I think I'll say 3 in those 3.
Okay.
But definitely Mike Yeo, I think, would be my top. And if I could pick a coach to coach with at that level, I think I would like to learn from him.
Okay.
Be with him on the bench and get to see.
Good group between those 3. All right. Well, we like that. Well,
you kind of got it all across the board there.
Yeah. You got a little bit of everything, a little bit of every personality. You got some good Cups resumes there.
That's a tough question. Now you got my head spinning. I'm thinking of Trotz and. Oh,
you could go down.
There's a bunch.
There's a good group of coaches up there for sure. But,
that's why they're there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, they earned it. But so the Knights will be in action this upcoming weekend at the EHL Showcase up in Walpole, Massachusetts.
If you ask me an NAHL coach, Tom Koval.
Yes. Well, we'll make sure he hears that. Yes. Yeah. He sets a good example. He sets a good tone here. But the Knights will be going to the EHL Showcase up in Walpole, Massachusetts this weekend, Friday and Saturday, taking on the Vermont Lumberjacks and the Valley Junior Warriors. You can check out easternhockeyleague.org 4 times for those games. We'll post them on our social media websites as well. You can check out Knights Twitter at WBS Knights EHL, as well as our Facebook at Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights Hockey, and Instagram by the same name, and of course www.wbsknights.com for all Knights news and updates. But Josh, I want to thank you for a couple minutes here, and we look forward to seeing your guys out there up in the showcase this weekend.
Yep, thanks, Tim.